Most people running an AI agency quit right before their agency took off. But what if I told you that you're closer than you think to landing high ticket automation projects and making six figures in profit? Here are the six major signs that every successful AI agency founder I know went through right before their AI agency took off. And if you're seeing any of these signs, then you're probably on the verge of something big. So keep going. Now, you need to watch this entire video and understand all the signs that you might go through, because you might be one video away from making it work in your AI agency. But the first thing that you need to understand is that the worst thing that you can do right now is to quit. And here's what's fascinating. Before every breakthrough, there were always these six very specific signs that showed up. And I know this because exactly 1 year ago, my AI agency exploded. I went from grinding with zero traction to pulling in 50 leads every single month and making six figures in profit. So if you're in that struggling phase right now, stay with me, because by the end of this video, you will know exactly how much longer you will stay in until you leave the struggling pit. So the first sign that you're about to make it is that you've been putting yourself out there. In my first 6 months, I wasn't closing any big deals. I was learning. I was literally in communities, talking to business owners, pitching solutions, joining running clubs, exchanging ideas about automations. I was literally everywhere. And on the surface, it felt like nothing was actually happening. But what recently I've noticed is that underneath, I was building something really big that was compounding. All these relationships, all these reps, all these reputations. So if you've been consistently showing up online, offline, in communities, this is your sign number one. You are not wasting time. You are basically loading the gun. Now, the second sign that you're about to hit your lucky break is that you've already failed 2 or 3 times. The lucky break almost never comes from your first idea. In my case, I tried an AI automation product for wedding venues. I tried a podcast, and I even built a full SaaS, co-founded with 2 other people, for sending automated messages on LinkedIn and email. All these 3 went into nowhere, and I shut them down with zero money made. It was only after these failures that I started my YouTube channel, and this is where everything changed. My channel took off, leads started flooding in, and the business finally clicked. So your failed attempts aren't wasted. They are prerequisites. If you already failed once or twice, you are literally closer than you think. Which take me to sign number 3. You've been selling cheap automations and actually delivering them. So here's the thing. I know you're not going to like this, but you do not hit it big right out of the gate. You usually start by selling cheap automations. You make mistakes. You sell the wrong customers inside the wrong platforms. For example, like Upwork, school, communities, wherever you can get leads, and you make some money. In my case, I was making around 1,000 to 2,000 a month. I've sold chatbots. I learned how to invoice clients. I've handled projects end to end, and I've collected testimonials. And hopefully by now you have sold 5 to 10 people. Although on paper, you might look at your bank and see that you've been selling cheap, but underneath what you're building is also a compounding effect, a system that you can do delivery. So when you land these big whales, you are already ready. You look professional, you have a process, you know how to invoice them, and you know how to send them, for example, a contract. All of this I've learned by delivering very cheap automations and probably some stuff that I wasn't so proud of. But my point here is you cannot be too hard on yourself, and these automations are what are gonna enable and open these new doors to sell to more and bigger customers, like, for example, corporate or larger enterprises. Now, the sign number 4 that you're about to hit it big is that you've been consistently raising your rates, even when it scared you. Most people never raise their rates. They are too scared that the customers would say no, and they get stuck in that feeling. But if you have been raising your rates consistently, for example, every new customer, you increase your rates by 10-15%, then you are on the right track to start landing high ticket consulting or automation projects. For example, I raised my rates consistently. Every new customer, I raised it about 15%. And recently, I reached the hourly rate or the projects that I can charge 5K, 10K plus per project without feeling overwhelmed. And here's the really interesting thing. The moment you start charging more, you're going to be landing customers that will change your perspective. For example, a customer that can afford a 10K automation project is not going to be the same customer as can afford a $500 chatbot. So with raising your prices consistently, you also change who you are as a professional. You open your mind into who can deliver what and who can accept what prices, and gradually learn how to sell to these big companies. Which take me to sign number 5. You've stopped thinking like a developer and started thinking like an advisor. Now, this is very important and it doesn't come from day one. But if you started to notice a sign that you care about the customer entire business more than just being an implementer or a working ant, then this is a good sign that you are transitioning from charging cheaper automations into a more premium and high ticket consulting or automation projects. For example, you no longer wait for the client to tell you what to build. You walk in a conversation and you tell them exactly what they need to have done. You can run a AI strategy consultation, advising them on bigger topics. For example, which models are compliant, which automations actually make sense for the business, what is the ROI, and stuff like that. So this shift from order taker into a trusted advisor is a very good signal that you are about to land high ticket consulting and you can deliver on them consistently. Now, sign number 6, which is the most important one in the whole signs, you have been advertising consistently. Basically, you found a marketing channel that works well with your personality and you have been doing the work consistently. Whether there is YouTube for you, writing blogs, doing cold outreach via email or LinkedIn, whatever there is, you've chosen one and you've been super consistent at it for about 3 months. This is the final signal that things are going to start working out for you very soon. And in my example, one video went kind of viral and I got so much money and traction for my agency from just this one video. So the same thing for you. You might be one video or article away from having an inflow of leads that you don't know how to handle. Trust me, because this is exactly what happened. So here's my question for you. How many of these 6 signs are you experiencing right now? If it's 3 or more, then you're not far, so you need to keep going. Make sure to drop your numbers in the comments. I read every single one of them. And if this video helped, then make sure to subscribe because I put out content about every week on how to build and scale an AI consulting business. And right now, if you want to help leaving the struggle pit and finally landing 6 figures in profit, I have a community that you can join and get personal help to get you there quicker. I'll put the link in the description and I'll see you in the next video.